Okay, so not only did I find out that I'm being gypped on the amount of money that I'm spending on my domain, I'm being gypped on the amount of money that I'm spending on my website per month too. Awesome.
Y'all, it's your boy Ignite. Welcome to another episode of the How to Sell Dope podcast. On this episode, I sat down with Jenny, the coding cat, Rodriguez. We talked a lot about websites. We talked domains. We talked how I'm getting gypped by Squarespace, but hey, whatever. We talked about what hosting is, different keywords you want to incorporate, or ways you can search which keywords you want to incorporate with your website. Bunch of powerful information in here for those of you looking to build your site and looking to optimize your SEO. Tune in. Feel free to ask any questions below.
All right, welcome to the next episode. I'm not sure which episode this is anymore, but it's definitely an episode of the How to Sell Dope podcast. I am your host, Mr. Ignite, and today I have a very special guest in the building, Jenny Rodriguez, aka Jenny, the coding cat. How are you doing today?
I'm doing super great. Having a really great Friday.
Yeah. It's it actually feels good in Chicago today. It's like when I say it feels good, it's like 35 degrees and overcast, which is good compared to what it was last week when it was, in the same.
Oh yeah, it was like super fucking cold. I was like, oh gosh, no.
Yeah, but Chicago summers are the best, and I do believe that the winters help us enjoy the summers better, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, I'm super grateful for those summers here.
For sure. All right, well, let's get into it. You and I, we worked at a restaurant together many years ago, and it's funny that we're here on this podcast together because I was a server there and you were a cook there, right? And
right.
You have your own company and I have my own company. You started doing web design, which I think is very dope. The goal of the podcast is to provide ideas and knowledge to up and coming artists, not just artists, entrepreneurs as well. But my focus is artists. I work in a recording studio. And I think a website is very, very important if you're trying to grow your visibility, if you want to look professional. You don't want to just be sending people like Instagram DMs or Instagram links. I think emails and sending someone to a website is very, very important. You can even turn your EPK into a website, but we'll get into that in a little bit. First and foremost, how did you get into web design? I didn't know that was like a thing of yours. So let's talk about that.
Like after getting laid off from my last job, I was like basically just Googling like virtual jobs, virtual careers, and then I was just like looking for something that would pay well, and then something that I don't need to go back to school for, because like I tried going back to school at some points and I was like, no, school isn't for me anymore, because I'm kind of old. I don't want to be around like a lot of young people. So anyways, so I found like this like website building course that taught me how to code and like develop a website completely from scratch using like custom coding on WordPress. So like I started building like that, like a little dummy site. And then like as soon as I got done finishing with that, like it wasn't like the best looking site, but I was like super proud of myself because like I actually coded like a website from scratch. Mm-hmm. It was super empowering for me. Like it gave me like a huge boost of confidence. And so that's when like a little light bulb in my head went off. And I was like, okay, like I'm going to start like my online business, like as a web designer and developer.
That's dope.
Yeah. So, and like I've been doing that for almost a year now.
Okay. A year in the game. So she's fresh, but good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you mentioned working at a restaurant and being laid off. As you may know, my situation was similar to that. I didn't get laid off. I quit. And then I tried to come back and they told me no. And it was in that moment that I thought, like, man, as hard as I work for these people, if I applied that to myself, I could probably be successful. And then, here we are. So I definitely relate to that part of what you're doing. So you said you've been doing it for about a year now. And you mentioned WordPress. I currently use Squarespace, but I think that I want to revamp my website at some point. But I guess let's just break it down for people. If I'm someone who does not have a website, I'm new to it. My name is Joe Schmo, and I want to start. I want to start my own website. First thing first, a domain. How do I find a domain? If someone has it, how do I go about obtaining it from them? Let's start there.
All right. So with finding a domain name, you can basically just go into any like domain registrar. Like some of the most common ones are like Google domains or GoDaddy or also Namecheap. Those are like one of the most popular ones. You can just go in there and just start typing in like your domain name, like the one that you actually like you really want, and see what pops up. Like it's free to search. And let's see if somebody already has it. I haven't had like an experience with that.
Okay.
But you can like if somebody does have it, I would maybe suggest maybe making like a variation of your desired domain name.
Be creative with it. Or what you can do is you can find that person that has your domain and you can send them a mean email. Say, hey, give me my domain back now.
I mean, you could, but that's not gonna go well for you.
Yeah, you should be nice. You always kill them with kindness. Okay.
Yeah, so I never like had to like reclaim like a domain name for somebody else, so I can't really say anything about it from my own personal experience. But I guess just try to like create like a variation of that domain name in case like it's already taken.
Okay. And then how long do you keep a domain? Like once you find one, I know, and everybody charges differently, I think. And so I guess there is some confusion for that as far as I'm concerned, because I pay Squarespace, I think $20 a year to keep my domain. I don't know if I'm being gypped by them, if I can just pay a one-time fee for my domain, or if what the process is with that, or if it's like a cheaper way that I can pay annually versus what they're charging me.
I'll say they're skipping you. And I guess like from my own experience, like you pay like an annual fee for your domain name in order for it to get renewed. Like for me, I paid like $12 a year.
12 a year.
12. I got mine through Google Domains.
12 a year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Squarespace. 20 a year. All right. That's good to know.
Yeah. There's like other domain registrars you can buy a little bit more cheaper. I think from GoDaddy or Namecheap, you can go as low as $9 a year.
Okay. It is funny.
I think. Don't quote me on that.
It's funny that people are just selling like domain name. Like, it's like you don't even own it. Like, why am I paying you to keep it? But I will say this to people out there. Anybody that has a website, be careful. There are scammers. I had someone, and they always email me at the time that it's, where it's time for me to renew my domain. they email me this email saying that I have to pay them like hundreds of dollars to renew it. And if I want to renew it for 3 years, it's like $500. If I want to renew it for 5 years, it's like $1,000. And they type in bold letters and it's like all caps and they're saying you're about to lose your domain if you don't pay me. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
That's scary.
I wish I had that person's email. I mean, I can go through mine. Maybe I'll include it like in the credits, but that's definitely a thing out there that people should be aware of. Okay, so now that we talk domain, building a website, is there? I know you said that you work with WordPress. There's a list of different hosting sites. Which ones are you familiar with?
The most I'm most familiar with is WordPress, and I work a little bit with Squarespace, but I can't really say much about like the other website platforms because a majority of the clients I work with, they use WordPress and Squarespace for hosting their websites.
So I'm interested in switching to WordPress. Actually, from what I understand, it's more customizable. Like I think Squarespace is good for someone who's, in my opinion, just starting out. You don't know what necessarily what you're doing. I think WordPress, you could probably have it like I guess WordPress would be if I had an idea of how I wanted something to look. I could probably then relay that to you, right? Like what is your process when you're building a website for someone? Like if I'm like, hey, I'm an artist. I want to have like a carousel of photos. I want to have like a music player. I want to have like a YouTube embed on my site. Like what is your process when working with someone when they want to hire you to build a website?
Okay, so I guess like my process would first be finding either like a pre-designed theme or creating a mock-up if I'm going to make the website completely from scratch. And then from there, I take all of your content, all of your let's see, copy, images, videos, whatever, and like I'm very strategic about building websites. So I really think about like what your audience. So you want to like think about like what your audience like consider like their wants and their needs. So, and that's really good for user experience because you're not building a website for yourself. You're building it for your audience. And so if you really understand your audience very well, you'll be able to build like a website that's like super user friendly to them and that like speaks to them.
That right there is a key in just building a fan base for artists or building a clientele for entrepreneurs and businesses. You have to understand who your audience is.
Exactly.
So speak to them. And that even carries out into your website. You don't want to have just random shit on there that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've seen like a lot of like stuff being thrown into a website. Yeah, I done like a bunch of like audits on websites, and I've seen like a lot of like just stuff being thrown on there just to have a website. But really, like you need to like put a little bit more thought into it.
Okay, well, so can you give me an example of a good website in your opinion?
I don't really have any specific website in mind, but just more like in general, like having like an ideal professional website would look like let's see, like first off with branding, as branding is like a huge thing, so you got to make sure it's like consistent across the entire website. Also, it has to be very user friendly and also encouraging your users to interact with your content. So and also like having plenty of content that will keep your visitors on the website much longer, because it's really good for your SEO to have your have visitors on your website like long enough for them to like look through your content and see what your brand is about, and maybe like I don't know, maybe purchase something for you or like sign up for like your email list.
Okay. I feel like I want to let's see. So you said you work with some small businesses. Um, is there a particular website that you worked on that made you excited? And like I want to dive a little deeper. I feel like the things that we're saying are kind of broad, and I don't know if the audience would necessarily be able to grasp it. So I want to get like some specific examples that someone could take away, because it's just, you want to, you don't have to give away all the sauce, you know what I'm saying? Obviously people will come in for the website, but um I do just kind of want to get something a little more understand digestible for someone. So is there a business that you've done a website with that you particularly enjoyed? Not saying that you didn't enjoy the other ones. I don't want anybody to have beef with Jenny, but that you particularly enjoyed. Is there something that you can give like a specific example of why, or what was like really cool and creative about it?
Yeah, I actually do have an example. So, I'm currently working on this website project for like with one of my beta clients, and also and we're in the middle of like moving her website on from Squarespace onto WordPress.
What type of content does she have, or are you all
She's actually a service-based entrepreneur. So, she's actually a hairstylist.
okay?
Yeah, so and she specializes in like hair colors and like lashes. So I definitely been working with her has been pretty exciting.
Okay, so can we dive deeper into that? So she's a hairstylist. So in your mind, like, what is what type of content does she need to have for her website to make her successful? Is there a specific layout? Like, go to the website is the first thing that I need to see because I'm selling hairstylist or my hairstylist service. Do I need to see like hair, or like different styles, or do I need to see like a title? Do I need to see a bio? Like, what do you recommend be like the first thing that someone sees when they come onto the website?
I will recommend maybe like a very powerful call to action. So for her, my vision is like having um let's see, having like an image of her like studio or maybe like a gallery of all of her clients like hairstyles, and let's see,
You said a call.
yeah.
So like book now. No, 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 like, or is it just a button that maybe takes you to the rates or something like that?
Yeah, so well, us designers call it like the hero image. So it has like a big image in the middle. That's the first thing you see when you come onto the website, and it has like a part like a call to action, and then a button.
Okay. The
So that's like, I guess, like first impressions kind of thing. So you definitely want to like attract your audience quickly. So you want to get them to like keep looking through your sites.
Okay. See, and that's the type of information that I'm looking for. I like that the even the web design jargon, the hero image. So what other images or things like that do you look for when you're building a site? Because there's hero image, and I'm sure there's other things that you all have terms for that people like me don't know.
Yeah, so also like just I also recommend like my clients to really dig into like their copywriting. So making sure like everything is worded correctly towards your audience. So it's like easy to like I guess understand.
Can I stop you? Can I stop you right there? So for those of
Yeah.
you that don't know, um, copywriting is not just like what you send to the Library of Congress for your song. Copywriting is a form of writing. It's writing copy. it's how you get someone interested into what you're doing, right? Like you pose a question. It can get really deep. Copywriting can be as simple as saying, like for me, I'm a producer. It can be as simple as saying, why aren't you, or why do you continue buying beats off of YouTube, right? And then, or I can say, do you know the effects, or do you know what you're missing out on by purchasing beats on YouTube? And that could be like the headline for the copy. And then I could start talking about like, oh, well, artists, if you want to own your music, that's the way that you could become signed by a label. Or I'm freestyling right now, which is I may not be doing the best example, but copywriting is a way to lure someone into your business, and you continue to keep feeding them information and leave open loops until the very end, where you close and you ask for them to either give you money or watch your video, or you know what I'm saying, like whatever the offer is you present at the end. And there are people that you can pay to write copy for you, from what I understand, or you could just get it of yourself. Now, when people have those websites, you said they are responsible for their copy. Do you do it, or you outsource their copy at all, or?
I would like ask like my clients to provide that already for me.
Okay.
If they don't have like any copy on their website, they want to get it done professionally, I will send them recommendations to other professionals that specialize in copywriting.
So you can actually refer people to professionals.
Yeah, because it's not a service that I offer, but I know plenty of people who do.
Okay. So we talked about copyright and I stopped you. All right. So we got the hero image, we got the copy, and then what else should someone be looking for in a website?
So like we're talking about like the homepage. So you want to like keep your homepage like straight to the point and simple, because I like to think of the homepage as like the preview of your website. So you want to intrigue your audience just enough for them to like keep looking through your website. So that's what the homepage is all about. Is basically just keeping it simple, straight to the point. And yeah, so that's basically just a snapshot of your website.
Okay. And then you mentioned, I saw the post that you were referring to. You mentioned that keeping people, having content on your site to keep people there can help improve SEO. So you're telling me that the more time someone spends clicking on different things, so taking them from my home page to like my beats page, or going from my beats page to my merch page, or if I'm an artist, coming from my home page to like my tour page or my merch page there, all those clicks help my SEO.
It's called like internal linking. So it's basically like you're basically like giving like a map to your users to lead you to one part of your website to like another.
And for those who aren't familiar with what SEO is, can you explain what it is?
So SEO is search engine optimization, and it's a way for you to rank high on search engines like Google, and for you to optimize your content with SEO keywords. It will help you it will optimize it really well so that Google sees it as like relevant and also as like really very valuable. And having like high quality content will go a long way. So your website will rank high on search engines.
That's because that's what we need, right? We need to be.
Yeah, especially as us entrepreneurs, and where we want to like get exposed, and we want to like reach a broader audience.
That's dope. So I guess what are you just said having people click on a website. What are different ways that people can optimize their SEO or have a higher SEO rating or ranking or whatever, however that works?
Yeah, so first of all, like it's gonna take you some time for you to see how you rank on search engines like Google. So don't be discouraged if you like you just optimize your site and you don't see your website on page one. So it's not gonna happen overnight. So it's just gonna take a little bit of time for Google to recognize that your content is valuable. And for that, you have to do like really good keyword research. So like some of the things that you want to look for as finding like a really good keyword to use would be like, so number one would be like a high monthly volume. So with so that means it's like tons of people are searching for content that contains that specific keyword. So like the higher the monthly value, the better. That means like a lot of people are using that keyword on search engines. Okay, and then let's see.
So you're,
And
wait,
also,
you're saying you because you just blew my mind. So you're saying there's a way to look up words that are being searched more on Google.
yeah, yeah, there's like plenty of like softwares or like websites that you can go into and you'll be able to do like keyword research and it will tell you like this keyword ranks like really well and you can use this and that. There's like a few that you can let's see websites that I can think of that you can do some keyword research. I used Moz before, also SEM Rush, Ahrefs. Those are like the ones that I can remember. Oh yeah, there's another one. It's Uber Suggest too as well.
Okay, dropping gems, giving.
Yeah, I
Drop-
mostly use Moz, but that's because like one of my clients uses for keyword research. But the other ones I'm not too familiar with, but I know you can use those too.
Okay, so having the proper keywords, being intentional, and keywords are just words that are typed into your site. You don't necessarily have to do anything else but have those words on your site, right?
Right, you have to like optimize your content. So you have to like plug it in your content somewhere, but like not just throw it in there because Google will definitely see that you threw that keyword in there. You have to like incorporate that keyword naturally into your content.
Okay, okay, okay. That's good to know. So we said keywords are a way to keep to keywords help your SEO. You were getting ready
Yes.
to say something else, and I'm just blown away
Oh
with keywords.
yeah, yeah, okay. Okay, besides like high volume, high monthly volume, also look for like low difficulty. So what that means is like if you find like a keyword that doesn't have like that has like either low or very little competition, you can definitely use that because you will have like a higher chance of ranking higher for it because there's no competition or very little competition. So so like the lower the difficulty, the better. And let's see, and the last one would be like having like a high click-through rate. So like a high click-through rate is really good, which means that people are more likely to click on that content that contains that specific keyword.
Okay, and these are all things that you can search online.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the three things that you should look for when you're trying to decide what keywords to use.
Okay, okay. Or those are the things that you can ask Jenny to look for when she's building
Yeah.
your website. That's dope. You mentioned something a while ago. I kept in the back of my mind because I am currently thinking about switching up my website. You said that you're able to take a website from Squarespace to WordPress.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We can, yeah, you can definitely switch over from one platform to another.
Okay, and okay, that's interesting. Is that just just taking all the content and re-putting it, or is there a easy way to just transfer it over? Or
Um, I mean, for me, what I did, I would just like copy and paste everything onto like the new platform
okay, okay, so
and
it's
just like customize it from there.
okay, so it's that okay. It's that simple. I know you said you use WordPress all the time, for the most part. And with your knowledge, I know WordPress in particular, I believe they have different uh memberships or different buy-ins to the.
Oh, I think you're thinking about WordPress.com. Like the WordPress that I use is the self-hosted WordPress.org. That's the most customizable one. And since it's self-hosted, it's actually free to use.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, well,
But the only caveat with that is that you have to buy your own domain and your own hosting.
right. That's what I was going to ask you. So what is, I feel like we probably should have asked this at the beginning, but what is hosting, and then what is self-hosting?
Well, self-hosting is, well, basically WordPress. And hosting, when WordPress asks you to get your own like hosting provider, they mean like basically like finding like space on the internet that where your website is going to live. That's what hosting generally just means.
And but when you say where your website is going to live, like what do you mean? It's my domain, right? Or like,
Yeah, domain name is just like the URL of your website.
so the hosting is like where all the contents live?
Yeah, like where your website lives on the internet.
How do you find that? Like, how do you figure that out?
Yeah, it's like a ton of hosting providers out there. I highly recommend people going to like manage hosting. That's where like those are like the most high quality hosting providers because they really focus on speed, security, and performance for your website.
You said manage hosting?
Manage hosting.
Okay. So, I mean, am I, because I'm trying to understand this better. You gotta treat me and the audience like we are, I'm ignorant, but we are completely ignorant, right? Like we don't know anything. So hosting basically, is it like,
It's
okay,
basically like a live server, and your website lives on that server.
so it's like the storage space.
Yeah,
It's where
yeah,
you store all of the contents.
right.
Okay, and you can pay. So okay. Because you just blew my mind. All right. So the WordPress.com that I was about to pay for at
Oh no,
at
don't
one
do so.
point could be free if I go to WordPress.org.
Yeah,
I can
WordPress.org is free to use.
and I could contact you and say, hey, I got this domain, I got this content. I just need a hosting place, a place to host it. And I'll pay. Do I have to pay? Was it manage.com or what was it?
No, like managed hosting is just it's just like a broad term for like having the managed hosting is like the best hosting to go for because of like speed and performance. And there's like a couple like managed hosting providers that are really good that I highly recommend for you to like build your WordPress website on. Yeah, it's like a couple of them. Like, let's see. The one that I use for my website is Flywheel. There's another one that's called SiteGround, and there's another one too that I can think of. Cloudways. Cloudways is another one.
Okay, but for these different managed hosting sites, should I call them sites?
Providers. Yeah.
Um, there is a monthly or annual fee that
Yeah, it's a monthly fee.
okay. And then do they tier it in a way like, because I know when I was looking through Squarespace and looking through WordPress.com, man, we're giving them a lot of plug. They need to like kick us back some money. But when I was looking through them, they had like you can put like up to a gigabyte or up to 5 gigabytes. And the next tier was like 10. And next, you know what I'm saying? So are these managed hosting providers, do they also have the same type of tiers?
Yeah. Yes, they do. And they have like different prices for the tiers for like, I guess, um Let's see, like the most lowest one, you will probably just need. I don't think you really need to use like any higher tiers unless like your business is starting to like grow and you want your hosting provider to like scale your website so it can handle like higher traffic. So you will will have to end up paying more money for it. But just to start off, like you can always start at the lower end.
Okay. And then I mean just out of curiosity, what is the lower end monthly looking like for those? Lowest.
Let's see. It depends on like your host on like the managed hosting provider. So like the one that I use is called like Flywheel. The lower end would be $15 a month.
Okay. 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 So not only did I find out that I'm being gypped on the amount of money that I'm spending on my domain, I'm being gypped on the amount of money that I'm spending on my website per month too. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Now, you know, a lot of artists have merchandise, or if they want to do like direct sell to consumer, like some of their audio. Like I might want to be able to put my latest song up on my site and ask people that truly like me or love me and are fans of my music to buy the song for $1. Does that change the cost of I guess the hosting site? Does that tack on more money, or is it as simple as just adding like a PayPal, embedding your PayPal or whatever source of?
Mm, I would say it depends. You can definitely like embed like a PayPal or something like that. There are also I would say like WordPress has this thing called plugins. So it's like basically like functionalities that you can add to your website. So plugins are like let me kind of like simplify this is basically like the apps on your phone. They have like a specific function. And so you can use like a plugin for your WordPress site. So in like for if they want like your if you want your audience to like download like a song or audio, and I believe you can like charge them on that. I'm not too sure, but is there might be like a plugin for that.
Okay, because that part would be cool. Like I know that, you know, like with Squarespace, and I'm sure you could do it with WordPress. They'll integrate like your PayPal or Stripe, so when people go to your site, they can choose to pay with credit card, or if they have their own PayPal account, they can just use their account. But that part I guess was confusing to me, because I know I don't think Squarespace actually takes a percentage of my money, but they definitely make me pay more to have the ability. So that part is interesting. I'm not trying to trash Squarespace. They've been great, but you know, I think Jenny just ruined it.
Yeah, like I really do love WordPress. It's just so many things about it that I love. And like Squarespace, it's okay. Like it just depends on what your business needs are. So maybe some people could benefit from Squarespace, but some others can well I would recommend them like going onto WordPress.
Yeah, I mean, I think Squarespace would be what you would use. Again, if you don't have access to a web designer and you just need a website just to have something, maybe that's the best route. But if you
Right.
want to customize something that is, you know, specific to your business, and I think WordPress seems like the better route to go.
Right.
Um, how how can people get in contact with you if they're looking to get a website done?
You can always find me on my social media pages. And I also have like a website. Like I don't know if you can like embed it onto your like podcasting,
Yeah, I
or
can.
also by email too.
Okay. And I'll put all of that stuff in the description of the podcast on the various platforms. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the How to Sell Dope podcast. Thank you, Jenny, for dropping all of that knowledge today. Till next time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
For sure. Thank you for coming on.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Letting on the league so loud, I go based on toes. Letting on me can call, I can never make that choice. Want it, tell them, I want it, 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 tell them.